Hey Sports World, another episode of Sports with Psycho Sam. I just want to thank some guys like Savage Seb with the shout out. So I want to give him credit where it's due too. This episode right here is for the Week 5 picks. So I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. The Rams versus the Seahawks. I got the Seahawks winning that 35-30. I think they bounce back this week at home. It's a divisional game. I think Russell Wilson, Chris Carson get things going, and their defense holds the Rams. Last week, Jared Goff did terrible against the Bucks, threw 3 interceptions, and they just did not look like the same Rams as last year. Also, that defense gave up 55 points, so I see the Seahawks winning this one. Jets versus the Eagles. I have the Eagles winning 28-13. I don't think Sam Darnold's back yet. The Jets have only scored 1 offensive touchdown all season, I believe. That ain't gonna win you much football games right there. Also, Carson Wentz looked pretty good, so that's why I have the Eagles winning that one. Jags versus Panthers. I have the Panthers winning 23-17. Kyle Allen has came in and looked really good for the Panthers. Christian McCaffrey, you know, he's the guy out there. He's going to be a 1,000-yard rusher, 1,000 receiving yards, I believe, by the end of the season. That defense always comes to play. Luke Kuechly in the gang, they do a pretty good job. So I have the Panthers winning that. Minshew has looked great, but I think they lose this one. Vikings versus Giants. I have the Vikings win this one 27-17. Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs ain't happy with the way Kirk Cousins has been playing lately. The Bears shut them down. Dalvin Cook's run game, I think they do a better job this week. The Giants don't have the defense that the Bears do. Dalvin Cook is going to be a fantasy football player leader this week. He's going to be a top running back, I believe. And Kirk Cousins, I believe, is going to have a really good game this week. He's going to bounce back. And that Vikings defense is also going to shut down the Giants. They're going against Daniel Jones. Rookie quarterback, hasn't seen the defense like the Vikings yet. So they'll get a lot of pressure on him. You know, Everson Griffin, Danielle Hunter. You got Anthony Barr. They just got a lot of weapons on defense. Harrison Smith, they're stacked over there. The only downfall for the Vikings is in coverage with Trey Waynes. Mike Hughes is on the mend. He's come still getting healthy. I expect a lot of good play out of him. So yeah, Vikings gonna win that one. Falcons versus the Texans. I got the Texans winning 24-14 at home. Deshaun Watson has been playing really good. You know, he's got Will Fuller out there. And DeAndre Hopkins, come on, number 1 wide receiver, one of the top wide receivers in the NFL. And the defense has been playing pretty good. So I like their chances against Matt Ryan. Devontae Freeman haven't really been playing up to their standards. And that defense has not been very good this year. And they also lost Keanu O'Neal for the season. So he's a big part of their defense. I don't see them stopping Deshaun Watson in that offense. Bucks versus Saints. I got the Saints winning 20-13. Their defense, Marshawn Lattimore, looks really good. They get a lot of pressure, and Jameis Winston, I don't think is going to be able to handle the Saints defense. They looked a lot better, the Saints defense this year. Teddy Bridgewater gets it done. Alvin Kamara is going to be another focal point for fantasy football. And also Michael Thomas, man, is great wide receiver. Look out for him to have a big game. Bills versus Titans. I had the Bills winning 17-13. I had the Bills winning this because of their defense. Their defense has looked really good. I expect them to hand the ball off to Frank Gore to set the pace. And I don't think Marcus Mariota is going to be able to beat this Bills defense. And you should expect them to try to get the run game going with Henry. But I don't think it's going to be effective. So that's why I have the Bills winning that game. Cards versus the Bengals. I have the Cardinals winning 24-20. This is the battle of the winless teams right here. I think Kyler Murray gets the job done, and that's what I'm betting my money on. David Johnson and Kyler Murray winning the game for the Cardinals. Patriots versus Redskins. I had the Patriots winning 34-6. I think this week Tom Brady is going to be your top quarterback for fantasy football. And also that Pats defense has not given up a touchdown this season. They look really good. Stephon Gilmore is playing his heart out. I believe he's the #1 corner this year. And they just look really great on defense. You know, the McCourty twins, they got people flying all over the place. Ravens versus Steelers. I had the Ravens winning this one 24-10. Lamar Jackson has looked pretty good this season. Their defense, I know they struggled a little bit last week, and against the Chiefs they struggled as well, but I think they're going to bounce back and do a good job against the Steelers. It's a divisional foe. Mason Rudolph is a, not very experienced quarterback, so I think he'll have a hard time. Then the Bears versus the Raiders. I have the Bears winning 24-13. This Bears defense is really good. And I just don't think the Raiders have what it takes to stop Khalil Mack. And Kyle Fuller is a good corner that's going to stop the passing game for Derek Carr. He's going to be covering Tyrell Williams. I think he'll shut him down. Broncos versus Chargers. I had the Broncos winning 27-20. Alright, this is the game where the Broncos need to start turning it around, man. The first year Anthony Lynn became the head coach of the Chargers, they started 0-4 and ended up have a winning record 9-7. So that means that out of 12 games they won 9 of them and they only lost 3. Hopefully we can do something similar and save the season for the Broncos and at least come out with a decent record, 7-9, 8-8, maybe even 9-7, man. Who knows? We need to turn this around, and this starts here. We need to have Joe Flacco rolling. The offensive line has to keep up the consistent play. The last 2 weeks haven't had a holding penalty, and last week didn't give up a sack, so that bodes well for us. if they can continue that and give him a little bit more time. The run game, Philip Lindsay, Royce Freeman need to really get going. Expect a little bit more out of Noah Fant in this game. He did really good last game. He's been looking a lot better blocking. Had a touchdown. Emmanuel Sanders, Cortland Sutton, Deshaun Hamilton all got involved last week. Hopefully we can repeat that. And hopefully our defense will wake up, stop the run. I think we need to go ahead and have Mike Purcell play a little bit defensive tackle. We'll see how we do with Bradley Chubb not out there, and see how these guys respond, and also how Chris Harris Jr. does. I expect a lot more from Will Parks and Justin Simmons in this game. We got to be aware of Phillip Rivers and him going to the tight end, and also the running backs. Austin Eckler is a heck of a catcher out of the backfield. He can catch the ball really well. Has good route running. You know, he runs his route precise. Keenan Allen is a stud. So we got to look out for these guys. And also on their defensive side, Joey Bosa, you know, Melvin Ingram. I don't know if Melvin Gordon is playing this game, but we got to watch out for him too on the offensive side, running the ball. So yeah, we got to look out for these guys on their defense as well. They get in there after the quarterback. So the keys to the game: keeping a clean pocket for Joe Flacco, have a nice running game with Philip Lindsay and Royce Freeman, getting everybody involved in the receiving core, and also stopping the run on defense and making them one-dimensional. And when you get pressure on Phillip Rivers, he's bound to make mistakes. So that's the keys to the game. Moving on now, Packers versus Cowboys. I think this is going to be a really good game. I got the Packers winning 24-20. I think the defense will bounce back right here against the Cowboys. The Packers have the #1 defense, I think, until last week. I think they got knocked off from the #1 spot. Aaron Rodgers, I believe, does a really good job against the Cowboys, and that's the difference in the football game. Colts versus Chiefs. I have the Chiefs winning 40-21. Patrick Mahomes looks really good still. I don't see the Colts matching the numbers of Patrick Mahomes. Jacoby Brissett just isn't there yet. I don't think he'll ever be on that level, to be honest with you. So yeah, that's why I have the Chiefs winning. Then the Browns versus the 49ers. I have the 49ers winning 24-20. They have a good core on defense, good defensive line. Richard Sherman has been playing really well. Jimmy Garoppolo has looked decent, and the Browns are up and down. If you can get pressure on Baker Mayfield, he tends to make mistakes, and it depends upon if Nick Chubb has another fabulous game like he did last week. And the bye weeks are the Lions and the Dolphins. So those are my picks for this week. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you have any comments, go ahead and leave those. And if you want to subscribe, do that too. Hurrah!